Camaraderie Health Agency's Black Heritage series is about more than just looking back and celebrating the people of color past history. It's also about delving deeply into pressing issues that affect our community now and in the future. The question is, what does dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion mean to people of color? History reveals that for the people of color to get rights, that they're always taken an action to get a response. The American Civil War began on April 12, 1861. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863, announcing that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious areas are, and henceforward shall be free. Constitutional amendments. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, December 6, 1865. The 14th Amendment granted citizenship and equal protection under the law, the 9th of July, 1868. The 15th Amendment gave black men the right to vote the 3rd of February, 1870. The Supreme Court ruling, on May 17, 1954, a decision in the Brown v. Board of Education case declared the separate but equal doctrine. March on Washington on August 28, 1963. Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in employment, public accommodations, and education. July 2, 1964. Unconstitutional. Voting Rights Act of 1965 eliminated literacy tests and other barriers to voting registration. August 6, 1965. 1 week after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., Fair Housing Act of 1968, April 11, 1968 was passed. So the advancement of the people of color have always been with a struggle. Join me as I dive deep into what the dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion really means for people of color, and I'm taking on the challenge of having real conversations about it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI for short, is a concept that has been vital for people of color, as it aims to create a fair and inclusive environment where everyone has equal opportunities to succeed. This concept is not just a buzzword, but a movement that has been gaining momentum over the years, and its importance cannot be overstated, especially for marginalized communities. One of the possible impact of dismantling DEI initiatives is things going back to the past. I recall a story of years past of a colleague, a young woman engineer of color who was never given an opportunity to excel, and she finally had to resign from her position because the company did not allow her to utilize her degree. I also recall when I was a young engineer, even though I excelled in my role, was only promised a promotion until I was leaving for another position. The truth of the matter that we should not need DEI initiatives, but the past has shown us that major corporations and institutions have not always done the right thing. The current trend of dismantling DEI programs and policies is a disturbing one, as it poses significant challenges for people of color in various sectors. Many institutions, including universities and corporations, have been rolling back their DEI initiatives, citing reasons such as budget cuts or a shift in priorities. This rollback has left many people of color feeling vulnerable and marginalized, as they are no longer seeing the support and resources they need to thrive in these institutions. For instance, the absence of diversity training programs and cultural competency workshops can lead to a lack of understanding and empathy among colleagues and peers, creating a hostile environment for people of color. DEI programs have been instrumental in promoting diversity and inclusion in the workplace, and their dismantling can have far-reaching consequences. Without these programs, people of color may face significant barriers to advancement, including limited access to mentorship opportunities, networking, and career development resources. This can lead to a lack of representation in leadership positions, perpetuating the existing power dynamics and limiting the potential for social mobility. Furthermore, the absence of DEI initiatives can also lead to a lack of accountability, allowing microaggressions and biases to go unchecked, and creating a toxic work environment. The dismantling of DEI programs also has significant implications for education, as it can limit access to resources and opportunities for students of color. For example, the removal of diversity and inclusion offices on college campuses can leave students without a safe space to discuss their concerns and experiences. This can lead to feelings of isolation and disconnection, ultimately affecting their academic performance and mental health. Moreover, the lack of diverse course offerings and curriculum can also limit the perspectives and knowledge that students gain, preparing them inadequately for an increasingly diverse and globalized world. In addition to the institutional implications, the dismantling of DEI programs also has significant societal implications, as it can perpetuate systemic inequalities and reinforce existing power structures. The rollback of DEI initiatives can send a message that diversity and inclusion are no longer valued, and that people of color are not a priority. This can have a chilling effect on social justice movements, as people may become disillusioned with the lack of progress and the erosion of hard-won gains. The consequences of this can be far-reaching, as it can lead to increased polarization, social unrest, and a decline in social cohesion. The implications of dismantling DEI are multifaceted, and can have significant setbacks in representation, equity, and opportunities for advancement within institutions. Without DEI initiatives, people of color may face significant barriers to accessing resources, including funding, mentorship, and networking opportunities. This can lead to a lack of representation in leadership positions, perpetuating the existing power dynamics and limiting the potential for social mobility. Furthermore, the absence of DEI initiatives can also lead to a lack of accountability, allowing microaggressions and biases to go unchecked, and creating a toxic environment that can have serious consequences for mental and physical health. The dismantling of DEI initiatives can also have significant implications for community building and social cohesion. When people of color feel seen, heard, and valued, they are more likely to engage with their communities, participate in social activities, and build strong relationships with their neighbors. However, when DEI initiatives are dismantled, people of color may feel marginalized, excluded, and disconnected from their communities, leading to social isolation and a decline in community engagement. This can have significant consequences for community development, as it can limit the potential for collective action, social change, and community empowerment. The loss of DEI initiatives can also have significant implications for personal and professional development, as people of color may no longer have access to the resources and support they need to thrive. For instance, the absence of mentorship programs, career counseling, and leadership development opportunities can limit the potential for advancement and create significant barriers to success. Moreover, the lack of DEI initiatives can also lead to a lack of role models and representation, making it difficult for people of color to see themselves in leadership positions and limiting their aspirations and ambitions. In summary, the dismantling of DEI programs and policies has significant implications for people of color, including limited access to resources, lack of representation, and increased barriers to advancement. It is essential to recognize the importance of DEI initiatives and to prioritize their implementation in various sectors, including education, employment, and community development. By doing so, we can create a more inclusive and equitable society, where people of color can thrive and reach their full potential. Join the conversation and share your thoughts in the comments about how DEI affects your life, and don't forget to check out my other videos on related topics, where we dive deeper into the intersection of social justice, identity, and community. You invited subscribe to Camaraderie Health Agency YouTube channel or go to www.camaraderiehealthagency.com or call 224-433-5754.